that gal with the strut that drives the boys nuts. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Well, it looks like I've really gone and done it this time. My close personal friend, Barbara, has been bugging me for years. Elvira, darling, when are you going to let me come on your show? And I say, Barbara, baby, if we ever run one of your pictures, of course I'll have you on. So what happens? I misread the title of the movie we're showing this week. Why I thought it said Yentl, I will never know. But I asked the girl down here, and now she's in the green room crying her eyes out because I had to tell her that instead of Yentl, the movie's called The Yeti. Instead of Big Nose, it's Big Foot. Gee, what can I say? That's showbiz. Randy, open the door a minute. Just listen to her. Oh, she's crying her heart out. See what I mean? Okay, Randy, shut the door. Shut the door. I've heard enough. Boy, to tell you the truth, when that movie Yentl came out, I never could buy her as a woman anyway. Okie dokie. We'll get to our movie, The Yeti, right after these pearls of wisdom from the advertisement.
Hello? I want to speak to the boss.
Yeah, sorry, bub, but the boss ain't here. If you want to talk to Bruce Springsteen, you're just going to have to pay $20 for a ticket like everybody else. Phew. Boy, I would like to talk to the boss, my own darn self. I mean, boss here at the station. I told the program director. I'd like to give him a piece of my mind for sticking us with another one of these poorly dubbed, out-of-sync movies. I mean, where the actors can't even keep up with whatever it was they were saying in the first place. Boy, talk about nerve-wracking. I mean, just trying to watch something like this is enough to give a person the...
Take a tranquilizer and go to bed.
Hey, I can't go to bed. I've got a job to do. And as for the tranquilizers, I don't do drugs. Why do you think they call it stupid, dope? Oh, hooray! The Yeti is alive! Oh, yay, Yeti! Oh, they might be humming a different tune once they learn that the last thing old Yeti boy had to eat before the Ice Age came along was a generous portion of corned beef and cabbage. And I thought this Operation Yeti was supposed to be serious stuff. Then you tell me, why'd they take along a video game with him on the helicopter? Boy, that is one heck of a time to be playing Donkey Kong. And I've never been that fond of helicopters in the first place, but I'd certainly never go up in one with a pilot that looked like this guy. I mean, he looks like some kind of wino or something. He doesn't need a helicopter to get high. Just give him a bottle of cheap Ripple. Well, like the man said, you ain't seen nothing yeti. Our feature continues after this time out for the advertiser. Yeah, Herbie, just puff your cheeks out and pretend to eat it. And don't think of it as raw fish. Just keep telling yourself it's sushi. You know, they say that fish is supposed to be brain food, right? Well, if they had any brains, they'd pan-fry that fish instead of eating them raw. And boy, did that Yeti ever wake up on the wrong side of the iceberg. Guess you really can't blame him for being a little ticked off. I mean, waking up after 1,000,000 years and finding yourself dangling 900 feet up in the air, chained up inside a phone booth. Boy, I'll tell you something. Seeing him inside that telephone booth kind of reminded me of a giant economy-sized breather. Only difference is, he ain't quite as ugly as Breather. Well, we'll be right back after this. Come on, Yeti. Follow. Walk this way. Somebody better give that hairball on stilts a flea bath. I mean, forget the Bactine. Next time, bring along the underarm deodorant. And I just love that nutty professor with his Androcles and the lion story. Guess that's one that Yeti never heard before. Professor goes, oops. And for Jane's sake, I hope he's never heard the one before that goes, not tonight, honey. I've got a headache. Okie doke. Me, Elvira. Yeti, ugly. Movie, stink. Commercial, go. You follow? Hey, good for Cliff. Looks like he's coming up in the world. Why, just a little while ago, Jane was telling him to go and lick his boss's boots. Now, by golly, he is the boss. Boy, it'll be a little difficult for him to lick his own boots, especially if he leaves them on. And if he's smart, he will leave them on, because I ain't so sure that Yeti's been housebroken. And What do you think Cliff's up to anyway? A little industrial sabotage, perhaps? Gee, I hope they don't go and try to give this movie a plot. I mean, it's just been getting along fine without one up till now. If they start messing with it, they're gonna ruin a perfectly bad movie. Now that is what you call giving a little gal a big hand. And I guess you might say that Jane really fell for that Yeti. How does the old saying go? Big hands, big feet. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it goes if you're doing a family show like Movie Macabre. And didn't you just know that Yeti boy had to go on another rampage? I mean, you could have made book on it. Especially when they started in with them flashbulbs again. Boy, you would think they would catch on. I mean, if I remember right, King Kong never was too fond of flashbulbs either. Come to think of it, watching this movie is sort of like watching King Kong in reverse. Instead of grabbing the girl and climbing up the building, climb down the building and then grab the girl. Say, you don't think we could be running King Kong backwards, do you? No, I thought I might have heard somebody in that crowd yell, "Paul is dead." Movie continues after this. Oh, swell! That's just what Yeti needed, to be framed for something he didn't even do. I mean, it's not like he doesn't have problems of his own right now. I mean, he ain't exactly topping the popularity charts up there in Toronto to begin with. Although, when the Blue Jays saw that catch he made with Jane, they wanted to sign him up to play left field. Why, when Yeti saw the bill for replacing all that glass he kicked out, it was enough to send him into cardiac arrest. So sure, just go ahead and blame something else on Bigfoot. Oh, you can call me Satchwatch, or you can call me Yeti. You can call me Satch, or you can call me Yetsatch. You can call me SW, and you can even call me Abominable, but you doesn't have to call me Bigfoot. Jeez, even when that guy cries, he's out of sync. I mean, who ever heard of being out of cry sync? It's like someone dared him to keep a straight face, and he lost. Boy, that was a pretty rotten thing what them goons did to that lovable Professor Waterman. And they got just what they had coming, thanks to old Yeti baby. Boy, that was toe jamming Yeti style. To tell you the truth, I think the odor would have been enough to kill him. And I wish the police would start listening to Jane. Instead of trying to blast the Yeti, they could hire him to be on the force. I mean, just think. All by himself, he'd be able to stamp out crime. Okay, the exciting conclusion to this week's Movie Macker is coming right up. Stay glued. Oh, so what's he supposed to do now? Go back to the Himalayas and freeze his keister off for another 1,000,000 years? Nobody even bothered giving him a pair of thermal underwear or nothing. But can you imagine being the actor they hired to play the Yeti? I can just hear his agent on the phone now. Hey, trust me, it's a really big part. Well, some actors get it in their contract to know that they can keep their wardrobe. What'd the poor devil who played Yeti end up with? An aerial rug? Well, that's about it for this time around. Next week, it's everybody's favorite rat picture, Willard. I'd like to bait you with a little scene, but we're all out of time. Oh. I wonder if Streisand's still out there in the green room crying her eyes out. Randy, open up the door a little. I'm gonna have to sneak out the back way. Well, I'll be looking for you next week then, and until then, unpleasant dreams.